Free thinking, innovative, and totally open-minded. Tommy Nation Politics.
Tommy Nation Tuesday live stream. A game of power politics.
Hey guys, this is Tommy with Tommy Nation Politics. How's everyone doing today?
White liberals who have posed as our friends. White liberals who have been eager to point out what the white man in the South has been doing to us, while they themselves here in the North are doing the same thing. They have been making a great fuss over the South, only to blind us to what is happening here in the North. And now that the eyes of America's 20 million blacks can easily see that this white fox here in the North is even more cruel and vicious than the white wolf in the South.
Civil rights legislation will never solve our problems. The white liberals are nothing but political hypocrites who use our people as political...
Free thinking, innovative, totally open-minded. Tommy Nation Politics, guys.
The present proposed civil rights legislation will give the present administration
What's up?
Dictatorial powers and make America a legal police state.
Guys, it's been a long time since I talked to both of you. How's it going?
Good.
All is well.
Yeah.
So, guys, this is Tommy with Tommy Nation Politics. Check us out at www.tommynationpolitics.com. We're going to talk about some critical things today.
22 million black victims of Americanism are waking up, and they're gaining a new political consciousness. Civil rights legislation will never solve our problems. The white liberals are nothing but political hypocrites who use our people as political footballs only to get bills passed that will increase their own power. The present proposed civil rights legislation will give the present administration dictatorial powers and make America a legal police state, but still won't solve the race problem. The present administration is only using civil rights as a political football to gain more legislation and power for itself. Our people are being used as pawns in the game of power politics by political hypocrites. 20 million ex-slaves must be permanently separated from our former slave master and placed on some land that we can call our own. Then we can create our own jobs, control our own economy, solve our own problems, instead of waiting on the American white man to solve our problems.
I've got two guests with me, and we're going to just talk about this little speech by Joseph Elizabeth Biden, guys. Because this is the best part, and Angel and I both said this. The best part about the Joe Biden presidency, Fattah, is the fact that we get to fucking make fun of this guy all the time.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by go. I
don't know why it is, but I really like to just go down. Like, 'cause he's such a loser, don't you think? At this point, bro.
In addition to this supplemental funding, I'm also sending to Congress a comprehensive package of that will enhance our underlying effort to accommodate the Russian oligarchs and make sure we take their ill-begotten gains. We're going to accommodate them. We're going to seize their yachts, their luxury homes, and other ill-begotten gains of Putin's kleptocracy. Yeah. Kleptocracy. The guys who are the kleptocracies.
What do you think about President Joe?
Well, as with any presidents are going to be loved and hated. As it was with former President Trump. As it was
with former President, but this guy has 33% approval rating, bro. He's not loved. Yeah. He's not loved and hated. He's hated.
Yeah,
he's not loved and hated.
And as I reflect back at the time he was elected, I mean, so much hope was put in him by many on the left, and many hopes by black people, at least a small segment of black people.
I agree with you.
I think as a president, he's doing what most presidents do, which is trying to toe the line, the party lines, and hold fast to what the basic tenets of the Democratic Party are.
What are they?
Yeah. He really believes in immigration. He believes that it's.
Does he believe in it, or did it accidentally happen because they know he's a dementia riddle?
Yeah. Well, you have so many people in the Democratic Party who are really pushing for immigration because that's a future sector for votes. And as it is with a political party, you need votes. And so this is something that's been in the works for almost 20, 30 years. And
why? Because they can't vote. They can't vote. Why would they do that? See, that's the part where I don't know if I agree. I honestly think, Fattah, the only thing that they're doing, and I've told you this before, and you too, Angel, is they're taking all of our tax dollars and they're fucking funneling it to the wealthy who donate to them so they can stay in office for the rest of their fucking lives. Like Nancy Pelosi, who gave $40 billion to Ukraine. This guy hasn't been to Ukraine. This guy's a coward. So, Angel, what do you think of? Before I start this video, I'm like, what do you think? What do you think about this whole situation? About, I mean, this is really general, but like this whole situation with white supremacy.
White supremacy clearly exists, or else then it wouldn't be. But the issue is they use it. Democrats use it to make it to grandstand and not do anything. That they use it as a like the grandstand and to do all this other stuff, like the social, like the SJW issues. They use that in order not to do anything substantive when it comes to policy.
What they value and look at their budget and what they're proposing. Romney wants to he said in the first 100 days, he's going to let the big banks once again write their own rules. Unchain Wall Street. They're going to put you all back in chains.
I mean, yes, I definitely agree there's white supremacy is a problem, but at the same time, it's like they use it to not do anything to help people. I said they use it just to grandstand and as a shield. It's like, oh, well, we're Republicans hate black people. We don't. We love them. Even though we did the crime bill, even though they did.
Oh, this is Joe Biden's favorite thing to do, guys. This is what riles me up because I know this guy. I've had to really learn about him, and he's a slimy guy.
He's going to let the big banks once again write their own rules. Unchain Wall Street.
They're gonna put you all back in chains.
Liberals who have posed as our friends, white liberals who have been eager to point out what the white man in the South has been doing to us, while they themselves here in the North are doing the same thing. They have been making a great fuss over the South, only to blind us to what is happening here in the North. And now that the eyes of America's 20 million blacks can easily see that this white fox here in the North is even more cruel and vicious than the white wolf in the South. The Southern wolves always let you know where you stand. But these Northern foxes pose as white liberals. They pose as your friend, pose as your benefactor, pose as your employer. They pose as your landlord. They pose as the neighborhood merchant. They pose as your lawyer trying to help you. They infiltrate all your organizations, and in this manner, by joining you, they strangle your militant efforts toward freedom, toward justice, and...
Before I begin, Jill would like to say a few words.
I just wanted to say thank you to the families for opening up your hearts to us and for letting us be with you today. So God bless you and thank you for allowing us to be with
you. Majority Leader Schumer, Senator Gillibrand, Congressman Higgins, and Gov, thank you for taking my call when I called. And I'll never forget what she said. I said, I'd like to maybe come up if it's okay. She said, this is Big Scranton. Come.
Hey guys, this is Tommy with Tommy Nation Politics. How's everyone doing today? Tommy Nation Politics.
just wanted to say thank you to the families.
Have you guys watched this speech yet?
I watched it. No.
She said, opening up your families to us.
And for letting us be with you today. So God bless you, and thank you for allowing us to be with you.
So this is my first thing, guys. God bless us and allow us to be with you today. Why do the Bidens want to be with these guys today? I think it's because their approval rating is 33%. This guy is literally single-handedly taking out the Democratic Party. And guess what? As you saw before with Mitt Romney, guys, this guy likes to use race politics. He's the biggest shucker and jiver white Dixiecrat I've ever seen in my entire life, which is why I like making fun of this guy. Because he puts on such a show. Fattah, he's not just like any president. The other presidents were not a Dixiecrat guy who's a plagiarist and a liar. Like this, at this level. You got to agree about that. You got to agree about that, right? It's weird that we put our hopes and dreams in this guy. And he's willing, the only thing he's getting, we're getting out of it is his presence. Thank you for allowing us to be here today. Why? Because you need some press? You need some good press?
Yeah, he needs good press.
Thank you for allowing, first of all, this whole conventional wisdom and social norms, gratefulness, what they're really saying is what they're saying, guys. They're using us. And they say it openly right before they start this fucking shuck and jive shit, which is a classic, I have to say. This is going to be one of the speeches.
Majority Leader Schumer and Senator Gillibrand and Congressman Higgins. And Gov, thank you for taking my call when I called. And I forget what she said. I said I'd like to come up.
Here's a normal, straight working guy. Skip it.
A smile to your lip because a tear to your eye.
Okay, so this clip, and then I'll let it play a little bit. I'll try ideas on it.
And you're probably not going to believe it, but I can tell you now, from our personal experience and many people we've met, the day's going to come, it will come, when your loved one brings a smile as you remember him or her. As you remember her, it's going to bring a smile to your lip before it brings a tear to your eye. It takes a while for that to happen. It takes a while.
Isn't that weird?
It might take more than a season.
You hear how this guy talks?
But our prayer for you is
my family just died. I don't want to hear that. Oh, one day you'll remember his smile, you know, like, fuck you.
As a nation, I say to the families, we remember them. We've been reading about them.
You've been reading about them, Jeff.
We visited the memorial where the show
Let's know these guys.
The love for them, and you've all shown by the supermarket. And Celestine Cheney, 65 years old, brain cancer survivor, churchgoer, bingo player, went to buy strawberries to make her favorite shortcake.
Wow, he read that.
A loving mother and a grandmother. Roberta Drury, 32, beloved daughter and sister, moved back home to help take care of her brother after his bone marrow transplant. She went to buy groceries for dinner. So is reading this off the... First of all, guys, like Angel said, this is kind of sick. Fattah, don't you think this is a sick thing that we're doing? Like displaying the suffering people on television so the president can get more fucking votes?
Well, I know it's very much, the American political system is very much like Malcolm X presented it. It's on one side, you have people who will be straight up racist with you, who will be honest about how they feel. On the other side, you have people who will pat you on the shoulder, but stab you in the back. It's just the nature of the game living in America. And this is why the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the Honorable Louis Farrakhan encourage us, not put our hope in it, because it will leave you disenchanted. And it will leave you apathetic.
That's an understatement.
That's an understatement. You know, because it is what it is. It is what it has been. I mean, our president, Mr. Biden, has been in some form of political office for decades.
And how bad is the country?
1972.
It's all because of this guy. I swear to God, guys.
That's right.
There's something about this guy that's so fake. And maybe it's because I know he plagiarized. And he just lies all the time. He lied to Black Lives Matter. We got everything you want already. What?
When he ran for president, I was 2 years old the first time.
I'm going to fund the police.
Yeah, that's how long he's been for president.
This guy is just such a fucking slideball. I swear. All right, let's continue listening to him read off these people's lives and teleprompters. They like to pick strawberries. Remember? I saw that fat. Look, do some push-ups. Hey, fat, used to pick strawberries. Maybe you should have fucking
center attention.
I'll try not to be too mean because he's kind of dimensional.
And smile.
Oh, YouTube, let's go.
Yeah.
No,
oh, excuse me. I just read that. This is fucking. Watch this speech, guys. It was so.
I have a hard time understanding it.
I want to get to the point where he's going to use these guys who you just read off the prompter, because this is the best part, guys.
So you're going 20.
While this video is buffering and shit. So basically, YouTube has become a fascist state. They said Donald Trump is going to be fascist, guys. Turns out there's a Ministry of Truth here. There's a disinformation governance board that he established. He established a disinformation governance board, guys. After this guy lied about the Hunter Biden laptop being like disinformation, Joe. Like, your presidency literally started with disinformation.
Yeah, that's right. In fact, one of our brothers is on that list, Brother Rizza Islam. He's one of the disciples of disinformation.
Disciples of disinformation.
Well, yes, they have this. He's about. I think he's one of 12. I mean, as we move forward, it's unfortunate because what's lost with all of this political chicanery is a lot of truth, a lot of valuable information. And politics is just a way to kind of disseminate the information so that we remain confused. And as a nation, we really never move forward.
So that's politics, but that's mostly like, but politics is supposed to be good. We're supposed to use what we have to leverage power, and there should be a check and balance of that. And I mean, using propaganda is not always like a bad thing. It's a sales pitch. When you use propaganda to only get elected and not serve the people at all, now that's, I don't know, treason. And they're talking, I don't know. To me, that just seems like that. But I feel like people are still afraid to say it, even after like gas prices are up, guys. Inflation's on the rise. These guys clearly don't give a shit about us. They go on vacation every time there's a horrible thing happening. They literally disappear.
The reason why they do that is the reason why they do that though is because they don't want to actually do anything. They go on vacation, they do what they want to do, and they don't want to do anything. They just want to use us to get more power, like to get elected to higher office and eventually become president. Everybody wants to be president in Washington, or nearly everybody.
So, getting off of Joe Biden though, like, is this race politics really helping the country? It's not, right? So, there's white people that think that white supremacy still doesn't exist even after this whole thing, and a lot. Maybe that's is you think that's the most important, the most prevalent threat that faces our nation? Because I don't know, it could be white supremacy or the Democrats and Republicans. I think they're on the same level. I think they're the same thing.
Congress voted to override President Trump's veto of the defense spending bill. This is the first time in Trump's presidency one of his vetoes has been overturned. The Senate today voted 81-13 to approve the $741 billion bill. Georgia's 2 Republican senators did not vote. They did announce support for new legislation that would raise stimulus checks to $2,000. Senators Perdue and Loeffler signed on alongside Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. The legislation would also address laws surrounding liabilities for big tech companies and create a bipartisan commission to review the 2020 election.
They started this whole thing, the 1850 compromise, the Democrats and Republicans. They started this whole thing. And so maybe we should just, I think if we throw these guys away, we might throw away white supremacy.
Well, I know, I think even if you got rid of what is called white supremacy, I think you'll still have a major issue of on the national political scale, we have so much invested in the talking points, the things that separate us, and we kind of get lost in the mix. If you got rid of that, let's just say they took away white people's guns. Let's just say they started making laws against white people, would be in a very similar situation because
white people would not allow that shit. I don't believe that. White people don't allow shit like that. to take their guns.
I mean,
Never did get their guns taken. They couldn't even stop getting haircuts, Fattah.
Well,
Remember?
at the end of the day, I mean, I think the talk is getting rid of guns. And if you're going to really make a move on America, you have to get rid of white people's guns.
Wow.
You know,
I think that's gonna ban us. That's gonna ban us for life, right there. Talking about taking white people's guns. What the fuck?
You already know, black people, we get used as
a political football.
Yeah, that's right. We just get used, and then
so that's the thing. Why don't we act like those white people? Why don't we stop our foot and call the Camilla Mall when they do this shit? I think we need to. I think we need to start all being Karens. Every black person in this country. Because this is unacceptable. This smash shooting shit.
Well, I mean,
it works.
We need to.
Black people are already.
It works for the right.
I mean,
right?
Black people have guns. It's not like black people don't have guns. You know,
but if we fucking if there's a gun even in like remotely in us.
When black people have,
you have a license for that, sir? You better be licensed.
Yeah, unfortunately.
No felonies.
We get targeted while other people get for this stuff to happen. I mean, you've seen these things done on YouTube where black men will carry a gun and they're not doing anything they have a right to carry, but then guys like this just get let loose to wreak havoc on.
Yo, he was literally this guy. He went to mental institutions. This guy that murdered in Buffalo. Yeah. They knew that he was crazy. He was talking about killing people in school, and they expelled him.
He still let him go.
He slipped through the cracks. He slipped through the cracks, Fattah. Yeah. You think any black guy with a fucking Glock in his fucking glove department would slip through the cracks?
Well,
or would we get the dogs?
The Honorable Louis Farrakhan told us.
I smell pot.
The Honorable Louis Farrakhan told us that as our punishment of Black America for investing so much and allowing our children to be used for this kind of stuff, that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad warned us that God would let them loose on us. Now look at the term "let them loose." Now, when things like this happen, it just seems like these white men just slip through the cracks. Nothing seems to happen to them. So we as Black Americans, we are going to have to take a serious look at what we're going to do, because if more things, and this is number 200, this is 200 mass shootings. Yeah, and so
that's this year alone, I think. That's this year alone,
right?
This year alone.
Literally.
This is nothing new. You know, I mean, but as you said, it's just we get used, black bodies get used for political fodder, and we're still left defenseless because we haven't done what we have to do. We have to take this threat seriously. Like in our meetings, we search people who come in our meetings. We have to start searching people wherever we go.
I mean, literally, we started having to carry guns as Black Panthers to protect our neighborhoods from the CIA. There was this American government literally has been nothing but problems for us. And so it's good to recognize that, guys, and it's good to come up with solutions. And I believe that. I don't know if the solution is taking white people's guns, though.
Yeah.
I think the solution is... Oh, go ahead.
And I don't necessarily advocate that black people pick up guns.
But it's funny.
I do think that if we have church meetings, we should be searching everybody that comes up in there, just like with Dylan Roof.
Yeah.
In our meetings.
If you see a fucking white teenager by himself in a black church, holy shit. It's either Justin Bieber. It's either Justin Bieber or you're about to die.
Something wrong. Yeah, something wrong.
Okay. Guys, don't see, that's the thing about our nature though. We're so like accepting of come on in, child. We'll feed you.
Yeah.
It's just so funny how they literally use that. And so similarity, this guy, our president, he's like the culmination of that, Fattah. He's engorging himself politically with 10 families that are grieving. It's like a sacrifice.
Our nation's strength has always come from the idea. It's gonna sound corny, but think about it.
It's gonna sound corny. Think about that.
The idea of our nation.
It is corny.
All children of God. All life, liberty,
fat.
Are universal goods, gifts of God. We didn't get it from a government. We got it from because we were called upon to defend them.
We exist.
The venom of haters and their weapons of war.
Weapons of war.
the violence and the words and deeds that stalk our streets, our stores, our schools. This venom, this violence cannot be the story of our time. We cannot allow. Look, I'm not naive.
You're not naive.
I know maybe we find purpose.
You're not naive, Joe, but let me tell you, Joe.
I wasn't going to run.
Where did this venom come from, Joe? And also, where were you about the busing and the racial... I seem to remember something about racial jungles, Joe.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say that.
I don't know, man. That sounds like vile venom, Joe.
But I was going to be darned if I was going to let... Anyway.
Ah, forget that.
Oh, anyway.
So this guy literally can't do the propaganda anymore. You see, this is the difference between him and Obama, guys. He can't remember the propaganda, okay? He literally... Oh, anyway, I was going to fucking make a point that liberty, life... Oh, freedom! We're here. We're born here. Venomous venom. That's all I hear from him. His stupid shit is writer's right, and he forgets half of it. He can't do this job, bro. I'm sorry. This has finally come to the part where you try to put the best puppet up, but this puppet can't even fucking work. His strings, and he's kind of like, yeah, he's done, bro. How in the world did they figure this? They were gonna do this, bro. Just because Bernie Sanders ran. They did this. Think about this, guys. They did this because Bernie Sanders was running and Trump was running. And both of those guys were going to change something. So they reached into their stupid little fucking oligarchical pockets and they pulled out their last card. Their last fucking card. You know what
Joe
the card
Biden.
was, bro? It was Joker. It was a Joker. This is a fucking Joker. Well, anyway, you should realize venomous venom. When I was saying that black people need to really stop doing drugs. Weed is a poor man's drug. Poor man's drug. What does that even mean, Joe? All I know is that well, I don't even know what I know anymore.
Well, I mean, you have to keep in mind that he's the one that said we're not black if we don't vote for him.
Yes, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Did he say that?
Listen, how foolish. Listen,
he's the most arrogant of them, bro.
Yeah.
He's the most arrogant of them.
Look, Tommy, people from other nations.
That's why I hate these guys.
Across the world, people look at us as though we're children because we are so invested in something that is obviously not giving back to us. We're supposed to give 40 acres and a mule, but they're giving out $40 billion.
To Nazis.
Man, listen.
Days off the time.
If
To be fair, they're probably not all Nazis. There's some of them good people.
Most of them are.
We're gonna have to think of something else to do. We're gonna have to, like the minister says, we're gonna have to buy land for ourselves and make communities for ourselves.
Haven't we been trying to do that though? Like, they just gentrify.
No,
and
I mean, America's for sale.
Yeah, and the Chinese are buying it. Chinese are buying it.
Chinese, yeah.
They bought up a lot of property in Texas. I don't know if you all noticed this, but there's Chinese like companies that are coming in to especially the Dallas area and the Denton area because there's land. They're just bulldozing it over. They're taking our prairie land in Texas and they're fucking making strip malls. They're making hotels and Chinese moguls are buying it up. They have bought Courtyard by Marriott's near Fort Worth.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. It's almost like they're invading us, but they're using their money.
Says one man will build, but another man will inhabit.
What about building back better?
Oh, God.
You know, the Bible says there's two things. It says, who will we, in the book of Isaiah, who will rebuild the wasted cities? Because the scripture doesn't look, it's not going to be happy when God unleashes his chastisement on America. And this war is just the beginning of it. It's going to engulf the whole world. Check out what
you're talking about, this Ukraine-Russia war?
Yeah. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad told us. He told us years ago that there's going to be one war, and it's going to be in Europe, and it's going to make Europe into a cemetery. It's going to make it into a graveyard. And he told us that Americans will go in
We've seen the mass shootings in Charleston, South Carolina, El Paso, Texas, and Pittsburgh, last year in Atlanta, this week in Dallas, Texas, and now in Buffalo, New York. White supremacy is a poison. It's a poison.
What you started.
It really is.
Unbelievable.
running through our body politic. And it's been
How'd
allowed
that
to
get there?
fester and grow right in front of our eyes.
How'd that happen?
No more.
You
Who was the
guilted it.
government?
No more.
Who was the government inside?
We need to say as
Right before
clearly
our
and
eyes.
forcefully as we can that the ideology of white supremacy has no place in America. None.
Except when I use it for political purposes.
Hey, Fattah, you heard it. You heard it from him.
And look,
Look, buddy.
failure for us to not say, failure in saying that
Look, buddy.
is going to be
Well, anyway.
complicity. Silence is complicity. It's complicity. We cannot remain silent.
Okay. Voting for Democrats, black people. This was our biggest mistake. It's voting in a white supremacist system, period, guys. I don't know if you saw my video, but when we assimilated into it, did the Klan care? Or did they want to focus on the fact that we were having innovation and wealth in Kansas without them? What the fuck? These guys were supposed to be inferior. It fucking it destroyed their entire little lie, that Kansas thing, as opposed to us voting Democrat and Republican. So this message I want to send to my viewers, guys, is that it's no longer acceptable, especially if you're black, to vote for these two parties. And I'm not letting you get away with it anymore. You can call me an Uncle Tom. You can talk about how I like Candace Owens. I don't agree with anything Candace Owens says, but she's got more thought in her head than a lot of people that are trying to accept. Like, no, we're no longer going to be Uncle Toms. We're no longer going to fall into identity politics. It's time to have a serious talk, like Fattah said, about this situation, and we're not going to speak their little gangbanging language, their lingos, like they fed us the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. They've never helped us. The only reason we're free is because they had to fight the South. The only reason we're free, guys, we were literally in negotiation and a ploy.
They can't stand to lose.
We're trying to overthrow the South, bro.
Listen, without black people, there is no legitimization of the Democratic Party. I mean, if we weren't a part of the political process, if we didn't sustain it with our belief, with our moral compass, it wouldn't have the power that it has. This is why what we do is so important, because if we legitimize it by saying that, well, we have to trust them without getting any type of tangible, I mean, we need our reparations.
We're never going to get reparations.
$40 billion that they're giving away to the
I know, right? Isn't that funny?
Yeah, it would be nice.
Fattah, you're so right about that, bro.
They
literally just pay $40 billion to Ukraine, bro.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And they don't want to give us reparations.
It's the Nazis.
They gave $40 billion to white people overseas rather than giving us anything. They would literally not, they don't want to give a shit. And they think it's funny that we ask. It's funny.
Well, sooner or later, it's not going to be asking.
It's so disrespectful.
The Honorable Stench told us that the natural disasters are going to get so bad in America, and it's going to be very evident that if we're not put first on the political agenda concerning giving us what we need as a people, which is land in a fertile territory, subsistence for 20 to 25 years, and no governmental interference. The threat that if we can't get our shit together in 20 to 25 years, you can slaughter us wholesale. This is what Elijah Muhammad proposed.
They'll slaughter us wholesale? Who's slaughtering us?
Yeah, listen.
Wait, I'm listening.
20 to 25 years tax-free on our own territory.
That they'll never invade? Because they invade everything.
Well, they will have, we're not worried about them.
I'm just saying lower your expectations, Fattah. This government's never not interfered with anything.
When you see the weather that's coming, yeah, it's going to be something worth talking about.
Why is the weather going to be bad? What's up with that?
What I want to show you, remember that video I sent you? See, in 1993, a young man was murdered in Mississippi. He was a Muslim. A young Muslim man was murdered. And Louis Farrakhan came because they tried to hide it. And he threatened Mississippi. And as he spoke, he said, God is going to chastise Mississippi. And that's when the worst hurricane hit. The very same evening, he said that it would happen. And he told us the time is coming where it's going to be very evident that What they do with us is going to be life or death for this nation. I mean, Louis Farrakhan did a lecture called The Unraveling of a Great Nation, and 2 months later, COVID
Yeah,
hit.
you talk about that a lot. Yeah.
Shut it up. Come on. So that's not him. That's because he speaks for someone like Moses spoke for. Let my people go. Or it's not going to.
Let my people go.
Yeah, America could have had the time extended, but unfortunately, former President Trump didn't go in his office and repent.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
I will say.
People are of it.
So I agree, Angel. You're super quiet about this. Like, do you have any thoughts about like
Yeah. Well, to be
anything
fair,
about
I'm not black. That's why I don't want to really get involved. But if I say this,
you're a person of color. You're POC, right? You seem
oh,
colored.
yeah, that's true. I'm Puerto Rican, but yeah.
Yeah.
But I never understood why African Americans vote for Democrats. 80-90% every election. I never got that. I'm like, I'm Puerto Rican, and I haven't voted Democrat. I think 2008 when Obama ran. That's the only time I voted for a Democrat. After that, I voted third party. And I don't understand why black people keep falling for that. Yeah, but I don't understand why black people keep falling for Democrats. It's like 90%, 92, 85. I'm like, but
I mean, that's
they
why
did the crime bill. They did. Marijuana is illegal because of them. It's like they put you in jail. I don't get it. It's like it drives me crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys may know more than that, but
I mean,
well, you're right.
You're right.
Yeah. Angel's right on the money. I mean, anyone on the outside looking in can see how foolish it is for us to be doing this. But
it's a social pressure. It's honestly it's Jay-Z. It's Jay-Z, and then the Beyonce, who's and it's our role models that we see on BET. When you know who owns BET, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, unfortunately,
white people.
No longer us.
Yeah,
white people own BET.
Yeah, and what it is in the Holy Quran, the very thing God had to, in order to convince Pharaoh to let his people go, he had to send plagues to him. He had to send lice.
I don't want plagues. That's gonna affect me too.
Already here.
Could you just make all the stupid people die? How about these COVID vaccines like take their toll on these guys?
It's already here.
Bye.
Monkeypox is now here.
Monkeypox,
batch.
yeah.
It's here already. It's here already. The
What's here already?
Monkeypox.
Monkeypox, yeah.
The new monkeypox thing, yeah.
The economic system is what we're so invested in.
We are.
We as black people, we're so invested in the political and economic system that we really think we're going to get something out of it.
We can if we work it the way the white people do. See, it's a white supremacist system. That's what I'm proposing. We work it like white people do. We don't.
No.
We fucking forgive and we fucking welcome and we sing songs about it. And then we sing at the halftime show. And we let it occur. We need to act like we did in the Civil Rights Act, not eat their food, not ride their buses.
I get why African Americans vote for Democrats. It's like, oh, the Civil Rights Act. That was 50, 60 years ago. What have they done for African Americans since?
What has it done?
Our nation's strength has always come from the idea. It's going to sound corny, but
think about it, Fat.
What's the idea of a nation? We're all children of God. All life, liberty.
All children are God?
Are universal goods.
Come on.
So this is my favorite part, guys. I can't stop it.
We got it from because we exist.
Bro, but I need to.
We're called
guys,
upon to...
this was the part of the speech, bro. Because he literally forgot what he was going to say. He said, it's going to sound corny, think about it. Like, this guy has tells. I can tell when he's forgetting shit. And think about it, it's funny. He stalls. And then he's like, life, liberty. Venom is venom. Like, y'all, he literally broke down there. Did you see that? He literally broke down there. Those words. Venom is venom. Life, think about it, Cordy. Think about it, Fat. Get off the fucking diving board, Esther. Cordy Pop was a bad dude. This guy's never remained silent. He's talking about how nobody should remain silent. This guy has never been silent in his life. I'll just tell you that. He's always fucking He can't stop talking. Is that helping, Joe? Not remaining silent? Just fucking blathering your bullshit all over the place? We shouldn't be silent. And then you're the president, right, Joe? So could you do something about it? Could you maybe legalize marijuana? How about you end your drug war? How about you stop getting letting the feds run rampant over our fucking civil liberties? How about you end the Patriot Act, bro? Because you're the president. Why do we still have the Patriot Act after 20 years, Joe?
Didn't Biden write the Patriot Act?
He did. He did.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Resolution through. He pushed the
Yeah.
resolution through for George W. Bush. He said
Yeah.
the threat need not be imminent. These guys that have created all of it, just like he said, right through our very eyes, guys, right through before our very eyes. This has all happened. And who was here when it happened? It was you, wasn't it? Oh shit. So got to get rid of this guy. And I think that long story short, guys, I'm not gonna play more of the speech. It's just fucking stupid. But long story short, guys, I think that we need to not only because we made a mistake voting for the Democratic Party, but I feel like it's up to us as Black Americans to now bury the Democratic Party because they've lied to us and they need to pay consequences. They need to pay for their crimes, and they've defrauded us. They're frauds. They're phonies. Nobody defrauds me and my people. Okay, Democrats are going to pay the price. I promise you. Now the Republicans aren't going to pay that big a price because they didn't want to. They're open with the I don't give a shit about. You lie.
Yep.
You're frauds, and you take us and you hide behind us as shields as you give $40 billion to Ukrainians, and not them, but your corrupt energy boards that Hunter Biden's probably on. So I know we all know what you're doing. We all know why you're giving them the money. We all know why you're slapping us in the face. And Democrats, just want to let you know, they are going to pay the price, bro. Just like George W. Bush paid the price, and there wasn't another Republican in office for 8 years. These guys are going to pay it bigger. And I want us to be involved in it. They need to pay. I just want to make that clear to my audience.
Well,
I'm always yelling at my audience. These fucking frauds are going to pay.
We are going to have to put people in local office who really have a track record of putting what's important for our communities, which is getting some type of tangibles for reparations and for so that we can rebuild ourselves. It has to be codified into some type of law so that we have some type of wealth.
Yeah, but they're never going to do that. They're never going to do it. We have to destroy them. We have to destroy them. They're never going to do it.
And sadly, if they don't do it,
they'd literally rather not. And they'd rather just nuke the planet. Yes, they would rather lose, Angel. They'd rather lose.
Yeah. They'd rather lose the election than do that.
They would.
Yeah.
Dude, that's so weird, right? Isn't it weird? Fucking weird. This whole society is weird. It's like an underlying current where everybody's a liar and like things aren't real.
Yep.
That's how I feel, man. And nobody's doing anything for the honest, like good for anything. Like they're not honest actors. They're all just in it for an agenda. That's what this capitalist economic bullshit. You're right, both of you guys. And this is literally caused it. And now we're playing that game. So we either have to play it better, as good as white people do, which is ruthlessly, or we're gonna have to change the game. I can't win.
We don't
this is so fucking crazy,
Tommy. We're so far behind. It's not. There's nothing. Nothing is really going to help this except that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad wrote that book called "The Fall of America." There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah,
because it's so corrupt. You can't go in and change it.
We had an opportunity to change it.
I mean, the dollar is falling as we speak.
Yep.
I know.
What can you do to stop it? Nothing.
Oh, you can do something to stop it.
Listen, Martin Luther King got to the point before he was assassinated. He said, "I've been asking my people to integrate into a burning house." He said.
Yes.
He said, and then he was like, "Should we be?" Somebody asked him, "We shouldn't be firemen." He said, "We need to be firemen." But no, let it burn.
Yeah, I agree.
It's gonna fall, and so that's why we have to be serious about building our community so that if there is no food there at the corner store, you have something so you can survive it. That's what's important, is surviving, because it's falling. Gas is going to be what? Probably next week, $5.
So how are we surviving it? You're saying our own land, our own fertile land.
We're going to have to start investing money in getting land, growing food in your house, getting canned goods to survive. We're going to have to survive this, because if
for how long
these prices keep going up, Let this violence keep going up. Let these wars, let the natural. They're already predicting that this hurricane season, it's already almost 100 degrees and it's May.
Yeah.
It's not going to be pretty this summer with hurricanes. Get prepared. We're going to have to be prepared because it's falling. This thing is falling. And
I just want to say the Democrats are falling before it does.
Yeah.
We have a vendetta. We need to have a vendetta, guys. We need to be prepared, like Fattah saying. But also, I think we need to hand out some fucking vengeance. As well.
22 million black victims of Americanism are waking up, and they're gaining a new political consciousness, becoming politically mature. And as they develop this political maturity, they're able to see the recent trends in these political elections. They see that the whites are so evenly divided that every time they vote, the race is so close, they have to go back and count the votes all over again. And which means that any block, any minority that has a block of votes that stick together is in a strategic position. Either way you go, that's who gets it. You're in a position to determine who go to the White House and who stay in the doghouse. You're the one who has that power. You can keep Johnson in Washington, D.C., or you can send him back to his Texas cotton patch. You're the one who sent Kennedy to Washington. You're the one who put the present Democratic administration in Washington, D.C. The whites were evenly divided. It was the fact that you threw 80% of your votes behind the Democrats that put the Democrats in the White House.
Just to summarize, guys, I just want to say that I feel like we're both right as far as you're right. We need to weather the storm. We need to be prepared, Fattah. But also, it's time that we. Malcolm X was completely and totally right. We did decide that, and we could have decided that we could have started we could have had our own party. We really could have. We could right now. We could back any other party besides these two parties that used us as a compromise in 1850 for free states and slave states. It's time for payback, and that's my proposal. My proposal is, guys, we need to get behind a other party and these two parties because they literally, we need to get revenge. It's time to get revenge on these Democrats, Republicans. They did that to us, guys. We can't let it go. We need to destroy them. Us black people need to destroy these two parties. It's our responsibility.
Yeah.
I'm putting it out there, Fattah, and I'm very aggressive about it. They fucked us. They defrauded us. They played us as fools.
There's nothing.
Time for them to
for
now
black people, there's really nothing we can do to destroy it because it's destroying itself.
Oh, we can though.
You know, it's destroying.
We can.
Itself.
We organized before. Why did we organize so well in the 60s and we don't organize now? Why is that?
We organized very well in the 60s because we had somebody like Martin Luther King. If he said, put your money over here, that's what we did. Putting money, investing the money in our communities.
Right.
We weren't waiting on the government to do it. Unfortunately, over this time period, we're so invested in the political, particularly the national political process. Nothing comes from it. You're better off just focusing on what you're building locally. Investing your money locally so we don't get caught up in the propaganda. So the propaganda is what's helping us to waste time.
That's true.
Yeah.
So I think that was good words.
Yeah.
Fattah Muhammad, guys, on Tommy Nation Politics, www.tommynationpolitics.com. Angel Rivera. Special thanks to Tommy Nation Politics Tuesday live stream. First hour special guests, Fattah Muhammad and Angel Rivera. Hit up Fattah on Instagram, KFamous, KAFMUHS. K-Famous, baby. You can reach Angel on Twitter, Angel J. Rivera 08. A proud member of INN Network, also a fellow progressive. Hashtag not me, us, guys. Let's progress. And remember to be free thinking, innovative, and totally open-minded. Thanks for joining us this first hour. Plenty more on the Tommy Nation Politics live stream, so stay tuned. And thanks.
Assange is still being, they're trying to extradite him still, but ultimately they were trying to fight it still and trying to write letters to London in order to stop the extradition from happening. But even if he gets here, it's not over. We still have options to fight, and get him out. But if he gets here, it's much tougher than it is over there in London. So
Yeah, it's
that's
just
pretty
funny.
much the update right now.
We've reached the point where these liars on television, like Joe Biden, are literally just okay. And then Julian Assange, who told us the truth about what our government's doing.
Yep, he's the one in jail.
He's the one in jail. It's like a topsy-turvy world, guys. So, Fattah, you have any last words?
I just want to say it's always a pleasure to sit and talk with you. It's good meeting you, Angel.
Good meeting you too.
My last words are, local politics, surviving what's coming this summer. That's where a lot of our focus should be, so that we can survive what's happening, which is the fall of the dollar and the fall of America. Death is never something that you pray for or wish for, but we do have to be ready for anything.
Fattah, he's such a father. He's a father. That's what Fattah means. That's why you want people to be ready, be prepared.
Right.
I am more of the warrior. Last words, Angel. Anything?
What I think needs to be done is the focus on local politics, because nationally, you're running with people nationally. Either they lose or they co-opt into the system. If you run local candidates and third-party candidates, maybe you can get some change in the local level and then work your way up to the national level. That takes time, though, but that's the only way I think that real change can happen in this system, if you ever can do that. So
I think you're right. Plus, we have to keep holding. If we do third party, we have to hold these guys accountable.
Yeah, you have to hold them accountable.
Like these Republicans and Democrats.
Yeah. If you don't hold them accountable, same thing's going to happen.
If you just let them go, they're going to end up like these guys.
Yep.
So,
but you have to hold.
That's
that's true.
Start over. Guys, that's a good talk, and we've come up with some solutions.
Yeah.
We also got to make fun of Joe Biden.
Yeah, that's nice.
Look, buddy, I was in Iowa. Y'all be free thinking, innovative, totally open-minded. And this was the first hour of Combination Tuesday. Check out Fattah Muhammad and Angel Rivera on www.tommynationpolitics.com or facebook.com/tommynationpolitics. Be free thinking, innovative, totally open-minded, guys. Tommy Nation Politics.